spectators and feel sure that we shall be seeing some fine football.
Bobby Moore, the captain. The right back, George Cohen. Little Alan Ball. Ray Wilson. Bobby Charlton. We want goal! A beauty scored by Bobby Charlton.
There we go. Something about Eric. The naughty lad.
Za sve ove godine Manchester United ostaje uvek u vrhu samoga fudbala, a za nas, Jugoslovene, on je značajan iz mnogo razloga. Veza sa Crvenom zvezdom je uvek bila izuzetno značajna i ostala u sećanju Sir Bobby Charltona. I'm here for the first time admiring all your admirers and just to see how respected you are here in England, in Manchester.
Well, it's very nice. It's nice because it's a long time since I played.
Yeah.
But I'm still a director of the club, so I come down quite often.
But it's not only a respect for you as a player, which is not playing today, it's a respect for you as a person.
Well, that's very nice. It's a bonus.
You're still very modest, aren't you?
Well, we try to keep your feet on the floor, if we can.
I'm here because all your memories, in a way, are very much tied to Belgrade, Yugoslavia, and to a Red Star.
Yes.
Do you have any memories about those days? What do you think about those people then and now?
Well, I remember playing Red Star in the European Champions Cup when we won here 2-0. No, we won here 2-1, and then we played in Belgrade and we drew 3-3. So we won on aggregate, and it was on the way back from Belgrade that the aeroplane crashed in Munich, and a lot of our players were killed, and it was a great sadness for the club. So we do remember Red Star because that was the last game that the old Manchester United team played. And I remember the players, Kostic in particular, Šekularac, who I've met since. The last time I saw Šekularac was in Colombia, in the Andes, doing some coaching sessions on the football pitch there. I haven't seen him since, but he was a great player, and they were a fine team. But it was a tragedy, really. But whenever Red Star is mentioned, we always think, well, that was the last team that the original Busby Bays played.
So your memories are tied to a Red Star with a kind of sadness,
yes,
which
yes.
I can see in your eyes still, because you lost very nice friends.
Yes.
First of all, the Red Star now is a team which is playing a lot. They are not appearing because of a certain reason, you know.
Yep. When the war was on from 1939 to 1946, there was no football in this country. Not organized football, but there were friendly matches played. But of course, the best players went into the services. And I've no doubt that maybe the same thing is happening in Yugoslavia as it was now. But I think that the one thing about bringing hostilities to an end, and the one thing that may keep people going is that one day you might have normality again and you might be able to go and see football and play football, which is the great pastime in Yugoslavia. I know that. So I hope that the hostilities all end and peace comes back to Yugoslavia, and then they can start organising their football again. And there's nothing more normal than a football match. So I'll be very pleased to see it happen quickly.
You are having a title for Sir.
Yes, yes.
It's so unusual.
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
it is
yes,
unusual.
Yes,
That means that this country pays certain tributes
Yes.
to real professionals and real enthusiastic people like you are.
yes.
How did you felt then when you got that title? Can you recall?
Yes, yes, I felt very honoured that because it is not something that you can buy. It is something that's given to you from the people. There we are. Gorgeous, eh?
Are you Sir Robert from now on?
Well, Bobby, my pals will still call me Bobby, I hope. And when they said that they would like to confer the title of Sir on me, I was very honoured for the game and for all the players that I've played with. And I said as much at the time. It doesn't change me, really. It doesn't change me at all, but people call me Sir now instead of just Bobby, but if they call me Bobby, that's okay too. And it's something that we have in this country, that if you do something well, you know, that they feel that it should be recognised, and I feel very proud for our game. We have a lot of trouble in our game, but nevertheless, it's nice to have a little ray of sunshine now and again, which is nice.
I'll call you Bob then.
So what about Eric then? What about Eric? The naughty lad. They just like to come. I'll take you into the museum first now.
Thank
Come.
you.
We'll run
Thank
the
you so
museum.
much.
Okay, thank you. This player here, Duncan Edwards, was killed in the Munich air crash. Was one of the great players, maybe the greatest player that's ever played here at Manchester United. He's a great, big, powerful player. Here we have the trophies that we won last year. This is the FA Cup, which is one of the most famous trophies in the world and the most familiar.
Can we go back here? I saw something.
Yeah.
Look.
From Red Star, yeah. This was presented by Red Star in 1991, not in the original match when we played prior to the Munich air crash. But it's a plate given by Red Star Belgrade to commemorate the 1991 European Super Cup match when they played here, and we beat them 1-0. This is the Premier League, the Champions Cup that we won. We have won that the last 2 years, and at the moment we stand number 2 in the league, so we hope to do it again. Our second team also won the trophy, won the title this year of the Central League, and this was the Charity Shield, where we beat Blackburn Rovers at Wembley at the beginning of the season. And there are lots of little exhibits around.
When have you been here last time?
I come regularly.
Yeah?
I come regularly, yeah.
But I have a feeling that you are more oriented toward the future. You're not living, in fact, in the past.
No.
You're so active.
No, I'm very busy. No, you don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. But, oh yes, we must try and look forward if we can.
Are you very strict with the players?
Me? No.
You like them?
Yes.
Do you understand all their personal needs?
No. That's much too complicated. The players these days are quite complicated. But,
Are you
no,
tolerant
okay.
to their emotions?
Well, it's not my job, that. I leave that to the manager. Alex Ferguson, he's the one that looks after their well-being. I only come down now and again. But they have to behave to Manchester United standards, which is important.
Let me ask you something. When you have been playing actively, happened that you have been in love, was it motivating then for you, or it was a burden?
Affect me on the field? Not at all.
No?
No. But when I go on the field, I forget everything except football. But obviously, when you come off the field, that's different. Right, here we go. These are various trophies that we've been given, which for the youth team. The youth team every year went to Switzerland for many years. Yeah. I don't know who he is. Where are we? So I said before that these were the trophies these are the trophies that we have given out to various clubs. Obviously, the mascot is the Red Devil, so we have a Red Devil there. But this is what we usually give now, which is a Wedgwood replica almost of a football trophy. But everyone knows Wedgwood.
It's so typical British.
Yes, yes, it's very British. This was the original kit that when Manchester United was first brought into being. And we used that same strip last year. They look very old-fashioned now, but they were quite revolutionary at the time. When we had to find some way of commemorating what happened on the flight back from Belgrade, and the accident happened, the club thought it was best to reproduce all the headlines for all the papers that happened at that particular time, and it was as good a way as any of describing actually what had happened. So these are all replicas of the front pages of all the major papers: the News of the World, the Daily Mirror, the Manchester paper, the News Chronicle, and it does give an insight onto the whole tragedy and how much it affected football in this country. And Sir Busby, obviously, who was manager at the time, still takes pride in this.
Can you recall those sad moments? Can you?
No.
You can't.
It was a great tragedy. Suffice to say that I lost a lot of good friends, and obviously the game lost some wonderful players and some wonderful administrators and press people. It wasn't just players that were killed, but supporters, newspaper men, officials. So it was an enormous loss to English football, well, to the British sport generally. And of course it has an effect on everyone that was associated with Manchester United. Here we have, we think that this is the best way of showing it, really. The players at the time, and the badges change and the boots change. Roger Byrne, his service of marriage, he was the captain of the team at the time, and of course he died.
Čitava ova soba posvećena je toj tragediji za koju Bob Čarlton kaže da je unazadila britanski fudbal. Ovdje vidimo i putne isprave poginulih sa ulazno-izlaznim vizama koje su bile izdate u našoj zemlji. Tu su izrazi saučešća i predsjednika Tita i kraljice Elizabete. U svim novinama donete su slike oba tima, i Crvene zvezde i Manchester Uniteda.
Great tragedy.
And your memories are in fact connected with the Red Star.
Well, that was the last match I ever played with them, against Red Star in Belgrade. We were leading 3-0, and they came back to 3-3, and it meant that we could progress to the semi-finals of the Champions Cup, which was a terrific achievement. And of course, when the accident happened, that knocked it all on the head, really. We had to start rebuilding again. And it took a long time before we actually were able to win the European Champions Cup. But had the accident not happened, then this team would have won the European Champions Cup much earlier. Maybe even that particular season they were the best team in Europe. We knew that Red Star Belgrade were one of the top teams in Europe at that particular time. Well, as a club side, one of the top teams in the world. The Yugoslav national team was very successful. The Red Star Belgrade, as the champions of that particular country, were obviously great. We had a really difficult match here in Manchester, but fortunately we were able to win 2-1. When we went to play Red Star in Belgrade, we thought when we got to a 3-0, we were leading 3-0, and we thought, well, that's the tie finished, you know. But they came back at us. They were very strong, and through a couple of really great bits of skill, they came back at us, and we were very pleased. I think they scored the third goal with a few minutes to go. So they needed one more match to take it into extra time. But fortunately, we were able to hold out. But it was a tough match. They were a really exceptional team with first-class individual players. The ones I've already mentioned, Šekularac, Kostic. Tough players, all of them. This was a picture taken from the match in Red Star against Belgrade when I scored I think that was the second goal. I remember it was very snowy on the pitch, and I remember the goalkeeper. The Yugoslav goalkeepers always used to wear white on their socks. But we played really well that day. These were matches from an earlier era. No. Here's the team that played in Belgrade. This was the last match that was played against Red Star Belgrade. It's a painting by one of our local artists who based it on the last photograph actually taken of the team as a group, and so that is a very famous photograph. These were the players. At the bottom here we have a photographic album that was presented by the Red Star Belgrade Football Club to Manchester United as a record of the last match. That is the original pennant. We've played Red Star since, but that was the original one at the time. And there are various things that happen, photographs of the players walking around Belgrade, telegrams from various people, from Duncan Edwards to his landlady to advise her of his delay in Munich. And the little coffee sets here were a present that were given to all the individual players. Obviously, when the accident happened, a lot of these were lost, but we were given another set later. I still have my copy in my house. We don't drink coffee the same as they do in Belgrade, but nevertheless, it's a very nice memento. This team, which won the English Championship in 1967, went on the following year to win the European Cup at Wembley when we beat Benfica in the final. And also that year, one of the earlier rounds, I think we played Sarajevo. We played Sarajevo in one of the earlier rounds. Yeah. I remember that because the Danube was in flood and we had to go by bus from Dubrovnik, which took us 6 hours, I think, around the windy roads. And yes, I remember that.
Now all these differences would take you longer, believe or not. I would like to see you.
Yeah?
You didn't change a lot.
No?
No, not really.
Well, I've lost a little hair. You know.
I didn't know.
In fact, I've lost a lot of hair.
No, but here you didn't have to.
Well, I had quite a bit. It was okay.
I'm begging you for this event that is making
Vidite ovaj sat na ulazu u stadion Manchester Uniteda u delu Manchestera koji se zove Old Trafford. To je datum koji je veoma bitan za ovaj klub i zato je istaknut na ovom mestu, tako da svaki čovek koji dođe i gleda utakmicu, da taj datum koji je unazadio britanski fudbal nikada ne zaboravi. Svaki ulazak na teren za Čarlton u svakom slučaju predstavlja uvek novi emotivni doživljaj.
Can I go on the pitch? No. Hey? Oh, go on. Go on. Hey? They're people from the BBC. Yes. You impressed? Hey? Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Bob, I never had football. I
Right.
had it like that.
Yes, yes.
But if I don't know many things about football,
Right.
you know.
Yes.
I admire you as
Yeah.
somebody who is on the highest possible position in a profession.
Right.
If I would be your pupil, for example.
Yes.
And if I would put this down like this.
Yes.
What you would teach me first? What to do? Show me. What would be the first movement for a journalist who wants to become a football player?
Well, the first thing I would say, you'd have to put your handbag down.
Okay, I did. Good.
Well, you'd obviously have to wear the right equipment, but nevertheless, what I would say is that you have to to learn initially to kick the ball correctly.
Show
So
me.
you have to use the right part of the foot.
Show me.
Well, it's no use hitting it with your toe because it hurts and it's wrong. You hit it on the instep, and you hit it through the top of the ball if you want to keep it low,
Okay.
and underneath the ball if you want to hit it high.
Yeah. So
right?
let me try.
But then, yeah,
Just to see,
just like that.
am
like
I
that.
hopeless, right? Let's see.
Well, no, I'm not prejudging you.
Okay.
Right? That's okay. That's okay. But you're not kicking it very far.
I'm afraid.
If you wanted to kick it very hard, you would have to put your foot a little bit further back
Okay.
and swing your foot.
Let's do it. Okay.
I thought it was actually going to go that way, but
You never know with the Yugoslav football players.
no.
What you would give an advice to a football player who is talented, young, and everything is on his side? Usually, a young football player is always stuck somewhere in between.
Yes.
To live his life, to have all the glory, a big
Yes.
money, and to
Yes.
continue to be a professional.
Yes.
It's a big problem. What you would advise?
It's a big problem, but it's a nice problem. If the player's good, what I would suggest is that he obviously listens carefully to people who have seen it all before, and to practice. You have to live correctly. You can't stay out all night. You can't drink. You can't smoke. It's not right for an athlete. But remember that. If you, for whatever reason, don't continue to play either, you don't turn up for the matches, or you get suspended because you kick people and you're given red cards, you're denying the public the opportunity to see you play. And if you really like playing, then you've got to make sure that that doesn't happen. But I listened. I had some good people who talked to me very early in my career, and it was not a problem that I had. But I've seen it with lots of young people, especially these days when there's so much media attention given to young people. But if they listen to the right people, then they'll be okay.
When you got married?
Me, I got married in 1962,
How old you were then?
23. I
Was
married Norma, my wife. We're still married. We're still very happy. I have two daughters, Suzanne and Andrea. My eldest daughter, Suzanne, is a meteorologist, and she works for the British government and at the BBC at the moment. My youngest daughter is studying physiotherapy. They are both very, very clever girls. They didn't learn it from me. They learned it from my wife, I think.
Are you happy?
Well, I'm happy at home. My family's doing well. My hobby, which is my football, my team is doing wonderfully well. We have little hiccups now and again, but generally speaking, this is a fantastic club. It's a wonderful club. The greatest club in the world. It's nice in here, isn't it? I'm sorry you can't come on the pitch.
It's all changed. But it's beautiful now. It's excellent.
Kids that come here, and they'd all have to come running on the field, you know. But the problem is, they all want to take a little bit home with them.
Well, strange it
There'd
may
be nothing
seem,
left.
but I took a bit of a sod from my garden to work, and I said I took it off the ground here, and they believed me. But I had some fantastic times. I was privileged to see.
This lady, you would remember this. This lady is from Belgrade, and Red Star Belgrade, who we played the match before the Munich air crash.
Yes.
Hello.
That was the
Hello.
last match.
Lovely to meet you.
Mira Polak, how do you do?
Thank
It's
you.
their 50th anniversary.
Oh, lovely.
Of Red Star.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I came all the way to do an interview with Sir Bobby Čarlton.
That's right. He's a saint.
Nice to see you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Lovely to see
Good to see you. Enjoy your trip.
you. You gave me a lot of pleasure over the years, Bobby.
I love showing people around my ground. This is my...
And you feel that we are enjoying it, really?
Well, everybody
We are.
comes. Everybody comes there. They all enjoy it. What's not to enjoy? It's a lovely place. It gives people lots of happiness. Football is a wonderful game. It's the only game. And it doesn't matter whether you're poor or rich, or whether you're fat or thin, football's a pleasure. Hey? It's wonderful.
A ono po čemu je najpoznatija Engleska, pored ostalih stvari, naravno je engleska trava. Kažu da postoji pravi recept za englesku travu, da je potrebno je zasejati, redovno negovati i zalivati je 400 godina. Pogledajte. Engleska trava.
Tomorrow this will be full with 45,000 people, all going crazy.